Sunday, August 27th, 2023. It's back hot again. I don't know if you guys remember or heard about the little hurricane that came on the West Coast. We had a little scare about that last week or whatever, but it didn't really do anything in Las Vegas. A little wind, little rain, a little flooding. But it's back hot again. It's like 105 degrees. Not as hot as it was in the summer, but it's still hot. Anyways, guys, this video is going to be filled with different subjects that I wanted to talk to you about. You guys haven't taken a walk with me in a while, have we? We haven't done this in a while. So to all my new subscribers, I don't know if you guys know, I walk around my neighborhood and just pretty much vent to you guys and talk about different subjects. Let me tell you what the media and these evil people don't like. They don't like facts, and they don't like the truth. They just don't like it, man. And Vivek Ramaswamy, I got to say his name like cake. Some people say fake. Vivek Ramaswamy is impressing me more and more by the day. So let me get this out of the way for people that, cause I get a lot of emails, man, talking to me about Trump and everything else. Cause either you hate him or you love him. I'm closer to the love with Donald Trump, not like the MAGA love, but I do have a lot of respect for that man. He's taught me a lot of things over the years. And I'm talking about before he became the president, before he came down the escalator, or before he came down that escalator in 2015. I took many courses of his, and I was in a network marketing company called ACN back in 2007, I think it was, and I got a chance to be in the same arena as him. He, he's kind of like our representative for the time. That was a big deal too. If you don't know what ACN is, look it up. I've done a lot of different kind of network marketing stuff. I don't do them anymore. But I never got a chance to meet him. But he's just there's nobody like that guy, man. Is he the most popular, famous man on the planet? According to, in the United States, he is for sure. I don't know if he is in the world. If I had to guess, he's definitely in the top 10, of course. Top 5, yes, I'm guessing. But there's some people that, because we don't celebrate football, soccer like other countries do. That's just the biggest sport in the world. But if you live in America, you wouldn't think it's anything. So I want to look at it from a broad view. But I think Donald Trump probably is. If I had to guess one person, I guess he is probably the best or the most famous person in the world. The problem is, because of that and because of the way he is and how he talks and stuff, he rubs people the wrong way, or you love him. Sometimes he does both to me, not in the sense of that I'm being all sensitive about it like other people, but some things I just don't like, and a lot of things I love. So right now, if I had to cast my vote and Donald Trump was in the election, I would vote for Donald Trump. Vivek Ramaswamy, I believe, is a better candidate. I like him better, and I'll get into that in a minute. But you got to vote for Donald Trump if he's available to run. And the reason why is because he's got to finish what he started, man. He just has to. You know what happened in 2020. We don't have to go over that. And also, proceeding before that, the day he got elected, they just smeared the man and everything else. And, again, some of the things I didn't like I said before, I don't like the fact that he was there to drain the swamp, but then he gave the government to the swamp, or the reins to the swamp in this last year with the COVID stuff. I just don't like that. And I know that's a tough thing to judge him on at that point, because, a lot of people were scared and everything else. And as the commander in chief, nobody knew what was going on. So I got to take it easy on him about that. But me, I was just very skeptical about it, man. And again, I'm not the president, and I'm not in charge of 300 something million people either. So I got to give him a break on that. I've been hard on him about that. But also, I didn't like the fact that he let Hillary just You know, because he made a lot of promises, man. He called her a name, you know, Crooked Hillary and all this other stuff, and didn't do anything. I just didn't like that. Again, that's not a policy or anything, but, you know, you got to be a man of your word. And I know politicians only do 10 or 5% of what they say, but he was an outsider and he's an anti-establishment. So just to clear that up, I will be voting for Donald Trump as the president of the United States in 2024, if he's available. Now let me go into the other part. I don't think he's going to be available, and my probability chart says he's not going to be available. Here's what I mean. You can't go by how you feel about stuff or what you think is going on. You just got to look at things from a probability standpoint. That's what I do, man. At least that's what I try to do. And again, my probabilities aren't always right. I don't go by probabilities. I try to go by those probabilities. And when you got a guy like Trump in, and them just completely, you know, driving the country crazy with him as in office, and with the lies and stuff and the smear campaigns they did against him, and then everything else that they did after. Either they impeached him twice, they indicted him 4 times, and they're so crazy about getting him out of office, they're actually helping him get into office. But do you think that these indictments and this mugshot it's going to stop there? Absolutely not. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if there's going to be an election. Some experts, or people call them conspiracy theories, think there's not going to be an election. Because if there is an election and he's eligible to run, he's going to win by a landslide, by default. You know, when Vivek Ramaswamy got up on that stage, I call those guys, those GOP candidates, I call them the insurance campaigns, or the insurance politicians, because just in case Donald Trump don't make it, they're your insurance. He said that Donald Trump was the best president in the 21st century. Now, guys, 21st century only started in the year 2000. So think about the last 23 years. I mean, come on, it's not even close. You got Bush twice, Obama twice, and you know who, you know, now. Come on. You know what I mean? So by default, Donald Trump will win. They don't want that, ladies and gentlemen. They do not want that. So I think they're going to do something, either not have an election or make him ineligible either in a couple of states or just flat across the board, because he has this indictment and this blah, 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 and they're going to find some kind of loophole to change the Constitution. They're going to keep talk about the 14th Amendment. So I don't think he's going to run. So with that being said, with my probability saying that, with all the stuff, and you know, just I'll be here for hours talking about all the stuff why they don't want him here, and all the data that I got to put in to my probability chart, or my probability way of thinking. I got to look at the insurance company, or the insurance politicians, and the best one by far, it's not even close, is Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, let me get this out the way, okay? A lot of people are going to say, because the right-wingers are killing him and the Democrats are killing him, they're going to say he's the Republican Obama. He's not, ladies and gentlemen. He's not. Now, I can't say this for sure, okay? But the first time I ever heard Barack Obama was in 2004. This is when I heard him at the Democratic National Convention. Now, I'm not saying he was a senator for 2 years, but, and I'm sure he's done some things too, but it's not like he was somebody was trying to copy at the time. But that DNC moment, he came out in 04. Was it 04 or 06? I don't remember what year it was. You guys know what I'm talking about. He absolutely just, oh my God, man. What a speech, man. That was one of the greatest speeches ever. You know, knowing what we know now, of course, you know what happened to him. He just completely got corrupted, man. Completely. But I believe in my heart at the time, he really meant those things he said. Will that happen to Vivek? I don't know. My point of bringing that up is, I watched a video of Mr. Ramaswamy when he was 18 years old doing a commemorative high school speech. Now, if I got the clip, I'll put it in here. And if not, I'll put the link in the description box. You see what I'm saying? I mean, and that was in 03, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm not saying he didn't listen to Obama or whatever, but Obama wasn't anybody to copy. So they're going to say that he's copying Barack Obama's speech patterns and how he talks and stuff like that. That's going to come based on his color of his skin and the way he speaks and him saying, what's the skinny kid doing on the stage with the funny name? We all know that. But the proof is in the pudding. I mean, that's an 18-year-old kid 20 years later, pretty much the same. I mean, you ever seen somebody when they're young and you go, holy shit, that guy's going to be somebody? They never said that about me, but they may have said it about you and not me. I'm 48 and can't talk like that 18-year-old Vivek Ramaswamy did. Like, again, will he be bought and paid for? Will he be corrupted? I don't know. I don't think so. The difference between him and Barack is Barack was a senator, and Barack was he was brilliant, man. So was Vivek. But Barack didn't have the money that Vivek Ramaswamy had. He said it best at the insurance policy debates. He said, "I'm the only one up here not bought and paid for, ladies and gentlemen." Even the moderator and all of everybody was, "Oh, you can't," basically. And then the donors were booing. And Donald Trump said it in the debate of 2016. He goes, "Those are the special interest donors booing like that." And it's true. That's what the people are in the front row. Now, the people in the back, they were, applauding for him and stuff like that because they want a real candidate, ladies and gentlemen. They want somebody who's not part of the problem. He has a saying. He says, listen, if your car is broken, you don't bring it back to the same mechanic that didn't fix it or broke it in the first place. He's absolutely right, man. So when I'm looking at the candidates, at the insurance policy candidates, and if Trump doesn't run, because this is why I talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, because everybody think everything's above board. It's not, ladies and gentlemen. You know everything's crooked. We know this. The money printing is going to be out of control in this country from now to even when the Marjorie Taylor Greene still pissed me off for signing that bill, man. And bending the knee to Joe Biden and Kevin McCarthy, man. Because they're going to print so much money. It's not a debt ceiling, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm talking about, the debt ceiling. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. The debt ceiling bill. It's not a debt ceiling. It's just, hey, we signed it and got away. They're going to spend and print so much money because it's till January 2025. That's the ceiling, the date, not the amount. Let me make sure you guys understand that. The money printing is going to be ridiculous. Whoever takes over as president has got a lot of work to do. Now, Gavin Newsom doesn't have a lot of work to do. That's just helping him get to the situation they want to get in. And that's complete and utter control of us in this country and the world. World dominance. That's what they want. But if an outsider gets in, not a Republican, an anti-establishment outsider, a.k.a. Donald Trump, or a.k.a. Vivek Ramaswamy, not Ron DeSantis, guys. Sorry, he's just not it, okay? And I'll get to that in a second. That person has a lot of work to do. And Vivek, the way he's talking, I've been studying him really hard this weekend. And right before the debate, after the debate, and this weekend. And I watched many, many hours of long versions of his sit-down talks. I ordered his book, haven't read it yet. One of his books. I'm going to get the other one too. And I've watched his long format, many of his long format interviews. And I got to say, man, I don't disagree with one thing the man says. Not one. I have never had a candidate like that. It's almost like the guy came down and says, here, Jerry, give me everything you want in a candidate. Again, I don't care about the color, because the left-wingers, aka the people that are controlled by the establishment at this moment, they can't make fun of his background because it's all about the race stuff. That's what they play. So when he talks about that, they try to go in on him. How can you call this person a KKK member and blah, blah, blah. He's just playing the same game they are. That's what he's doing. But what I've noticed about this man, he's unwavering, kind of. Sometimes I wish he would stand more on his two things I want him to do. One is when he says something, I wish he'd say, yeah, I said it, yeah. But he kind of goes against it a little bit. And the second thing is, I wish he was a little more meaner. You know, I know he's a nice guy, and I know he's playing nice and everything, and he doesn't want to not be invited onto MSNBC and CNN or the Breakfast Club. What a joke. The Lion's Dens, that is. But after a while, he's not going to be able to be on there because he just completely destroys these people. Now, the two criticisms I was saying are very, very minor. You got to find something wrong with somebody because he's just, you can't say perfect about anything, but my God, there's nothing I disagree with that man. I watched an interview with him with Colion Nayor, the gun guy. That was good. If you didn't see that, watch that one. And you can't help, if you're an American first patriot and love this country, not a leftist or somebody that's part of the old GOP and want a warmonger as your president, you can't help but to agree with everything he says. In my opinion, because again, it's nothing special. It's just my opinion. It's my channel. We all got different opinions. A lot of people are probably typing me now, oh, he's this, he's that. And that's fine. That's no problem. But a guy like Ron DeSantis, he disappointed me big time, man, because he was the guy that I wanted for Donald Trump's running mate. I didn't want him to be president. He's just not qualified yet. He did a great job in Florida, still is doing a great job. The problem with Ron DeSantis is, you saw the debate. He just, you know, I'm going to look at it two ways, okay? Those questions when he kind of looked around to see what everybody else was saying. In his defense, he said he looked around because he's like, are we really going to play this game? Are we really going to keep raising our hands? Because when they asked him another question, he goes, why are we acting like fifth graders? I don't want to raise my hand and blah, blah. So when he came back in an interview and said that, I understand that. But still, again, because I'm a reasonable person, man. I just don't think in black and white. And so when he explained that, is that right or wrong? Okay, cool. But then in that same interview, he doesn't back Trump. He's still like wavering in the wind whether or not he's going to back him or not. Again, I don't care if you back him or if you don't back him, but fucking pick one. And that's all I'm saying. And for me personally, my opinion, and again, you know I'm not no Donald Trump fanboy or nothing like that. But if somebody like Donald Trump, according to Donald Trump and many others, helped you get the governorship, and you, even in your commercials, showed that you're just a mini-me Donald Trump, and you based all your policies on a small area in Florida, what Donald Trump was doing in the entire country. And I'll give him this. He was stronger, Ron DeSantis, than Donald Trump was with the COVID-19 stuff later on. Not in the beginning, because he was with it too. But after a while, he said, screw this, and you know the rest. And he helped you get in there, man. You can't turn your back on that guy, man. You know what I mean? And you got to ask yourself this, which nobody's asking, and I don't know why, but ask yourself, why is Ron DeSantis running for president? Why? Does he think he can do a better job than Donald Trump? I've never heard him answer that question. I've heard Vivek answer that question. He says, I'm a millennial. I'm going to learn mistakes from Donald Trump. This is what I like about him. He just tells the truth. Everybody's going to say, oh man, he's sucking off Donald Trump, or he's kissing up to him. No, he's not. He's just saying facts. He goes, look, Donald Trump did a great job. I don't think he's a criminal. He made some mistakes that I wouldn't make. Definitely wouldn't make. I believe he was misled by his advisors about this and that, about not firing this person and not firing that person. I'm just going to get rid of the whole department. I'm going to bring him in as a mentor and an advisor. This is Vivek Ramaswamy. And I'm going to go off his shoulders and don't make the same mistakes he made. I've never heard Ron DeSantis say that. Have you? No. So you have to ask yourself, why is Ron DeSantis running for president? Well, you found out on this stage with him wavering, like Vivek said, going like this, blowing in the wind when they ask him about Ukraine. Because a hit dog will holler, ladies and gentlemen. He knows that's one of his weak points. He's got his donors that are warmongers that are funding him. Again, bought and paid for by the super PACs. and part of the war machine. They asked him about Ukraine straight up. Would you send aid to them? Oh, well, what about Europe? What about Europe? That's like when you're a kid and that, you know, your mother says, did you clean up your room? Well, what about Jimmy? He didn't clean his room. My brother, what about him? I didn't ask you that. What about you, Jerry? Forget about Jimmy. Because he can't answer the question. That's why. Vivek Ramaswamy, and I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, when they asked about the January 6th, would anybody do anything different, or do you support what Mike Pence did, backing the Constitution? I love when they try to talk about the Constitution when it's convenient for them, and the Democrats do it too, by the way. Bunch of neocon and warmongers up there, man. Insurance policy, bought and paid for candidates. Ramaswamy didn't get the chance to answer that question. But he went on MSNBC in the war room, whatever that room is, with that stupid Chuck, whatever his name is. I cannot stand that guy. Ramaswamy answered that question. He said, look, we should have did a recount. He says, and this is something I do disagree with him on a little bit. He said factually he doesn't think that there was no funny business going on with the election. I don't know if he's telling the truth about that. And that's one thing I take that back. I do disagree with him on, but he's looked into it more than I have. I say, or he did, I guess, because he's saying that factually he doesn't think, you know, ballot harvesting and all the other stuff. If you guys haven't seen 2,000 Mules, check that movie out. But he doesn't want the GOP or the Republicans to be victims. In that book, he says out of the 12 chapters, 11 chapters, he talks about the Democrats being victim. In one of the chapters, he talked about the Republicans. And he goes on to say that he doesn't think the election was stolen, but however, due to big tech, aka YouTube and the rest of them, have you noticed that after Donald Trump got out of the election and Biden was in here, and if you said something about Biden, it was bad, and they took away the dislike button? Now the dislike button gone. I wonder why. Anyways. And he said, look, I think big tech had something to do with it, because these people, these Democrats and these the mainstream liberal media, they will never admit they're wrong. For 3 years, they said Russia, 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 Russia. Once that Mueller report came out, they just jumped on to the next thing. They didn't say, oh, we're sorry. But Richard Maddow didn't say sorry. She was wrong about the tax thing. What he said is with the Hunter Biden obvious laptop case, which they lied about, all of them lied about it. He said if the general public would have knew about that, they would have changed their vote, because Joe Biden lied many times in many interviews, and he lied in the debates when Chris Wallace was a Republican and protecting Joe Biden. Again, it's a uniparty, ladies and gentlemen. It's an anti-establishment, evil, anti-American people. Same thing. And that's what Vivek Ramaswamy said. He goes, look, I don't know about election interference, but I do know about election interference when it comes to big tech and a couple other things. And, and I agree with that. But the problem is people in America, they got very short memories, man. Very short memories. And Ron DeSantis, when I look at this guy, I'm just like, he's on the stage. Again, why is he running for president? Every single question or topic that is important to America, not the stupid questions that the GOP was asking, because some of those questions were dumb, okay? They really were. But the real questions, and then having a policy to it, or why is he doing this and why is he doing that, and how is he going to get rid of the 3-letter agencies, or what are you going to do with it? Vivek Ramaswamy has an answer to every single question, and not only he has an answer to it, but he has a policy, and he explains it from A to Z perfectly. Again, what's Ron DeSantis' policy? Do you know whether or not he wants to fund Ukraine? Do you know whether or not he's backing Trump? Do you know whether or not if Trump gets indicted, he's going to pardon him? Do you really know that with his half a limp of hand? And again, why did he run for president? Nobody asked that question. I know why he did it. Because he was bought and paid for, and he was told to do it. And that's why Fox News, who may be worse than MSNBC and CNN and all the rest of them, because they pretend to be part of the conservative movement. They're not the conservative movement. They're the old GOP. They're boosting him up. They're trying to knock Trump down. and it's not right. I don't watch any mainstream media at all. Now, when Vivek Ramaswamy's on, I'll watch a clip from MSNBC or CNN because he just completely destroys them people, you know. But I don't have any cable, and I'm sure you guys don't either. And slowly but surely, with Tucker Carlson and the like, and Timcast and Benny Johnson and whatever Democrat show was out or whatever. Oh, Jimmy Dore, he's pretty good. He's anti-establishment. He's a Democrat. All these, you know, Joe Rogan, you know them all. There's a whole bunch of them. They're completely taken over. I think Patrick Bet-David. I think Patrick Bet-David said in one of the videos that last month, I think in July or August, that the mainstream media got beat by the independent media for the first time. What do you think the trend's going to be, guys? People do not believe them. When a Republican is on a Democratic show, they just completely try to trap them and say, oh, you know, just completely gotcha questions. Until Chris Christie comes on there. And they're all especially nice to him. Why? Because your enemy is because you're my friend, because my enemy is your enemy. They both hate Donald Trump. And I will give Chris Christie this. I give him respect because at least you know he doesn't like Donald Trump. At least you know he wants to lock him up. Even though I don't like that and he's bought and paid for, he has no reason to be up there. But to do that, I respect him because he doesn't waver like Ron DeSantis. There's nothing worse than not knowing where somebody's coming from. Fox News and Ron DeSantis are the same to me, and I can't support them. And again, I will not forget what he did in Florida. He is the best governor by far, but he should have just not been bought and paid for. He should have stayed in his lane in Florida, and then either did something in 2026 as a senator or something like that when his time was up in Florida, or just completely and utterly back Donald Trump and been the mini me of Donald Trump that you've been the last 4 or 5 years, however it's been. But he chose not to do that. And I'm predicting that Ron DeSantis, after 2026, I don't believe he has a political career because nobody's going to trust him. Mainstream media, after that, in 5 to 10 years, will be gone because they lie. Unless CNN just changes back to the way they used to be early 2000s. And Fox News claim to be GOP and representative of the conservative movement. But the problem is the GOP frontrunner, they don't support them. And that's not GOP. And that's why I tell you guys, and I'm not telling you guys what to do or whatever, but that's why I'm telling you, I am not a Republican or a Democrat. I love God, family, country. I'm on the red, white, and blue team. I read the Declaration of Independence first. Then I read the Constitution, the amendments, the Bill of Rights. And that's what I go by. And when I stick my head up out of that book and I look at Vivek Ramaswamy, constitutional silver, and Bitcoin, those are the things in the person that I'm going to back every single time. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.